This story of a canoe found floating, nobody in it, fishermen disappeared. The automatic assumption from everybody was that it was a caiman or an anaconda. Those are the obvious candidates. But I've been doing a bit of thinking, and I think another animal might have been involved. And what I think it might have been is one of these. Now, I mean, this is a real armour coat, this, and it looks as if it's a snake or some other reptile. But believe it or not, this is actually a fish, and this is a big fish.
This is the skin of an Arapaima fish. And if its scales make you think of a dinosaur, that's because the Arapaima is indeed a dinosaur of sorts. It has swum in these waters virtually unchanged since the Cretaceous period.
That is just a single scale from this animal. I mean, that is pretty impressive. But they go a lot bigger than that. And the reason I know that is that. Now, whatever that came off, that would have been a serious river monster.
Arapaima have been caught measuring up to 10 foot long, making them the largest freshwater fish in the world's largest river. But in recent years, they have been relentlessly overfished. And today they are so rare, it is forbidden to catch them in most areas.
Normally in the Amazon, seeing Arapaima live and close up is pretty well impossible. There's just so much water, it's pretty murky. Here's this place, it's a bar in the middle of Manaus, and this could be just the perfect place to check them out. Absolutely amazing opportunity to get eyeball to eyeball with these things. It really is prehistoric looking, like stone or metal or something, real armour plating. And the other thing that's very striking about these fish, they are very elongated, they're quite cylindrical. That is just perfect design for an ambush predator, speed over a short distance.
Arapaima are naturally predatory, engulfing any fish that fit into that bony mouth, including piranha. They will even consume birds and other animals, sucking them down from the water surface.
And then they've got this very gruesome technique for actually finishing their prey off. They have a tongue with a piece of bone inside it, and they actually use that bony tongue to crush the small fish against the roof of the mouth, so it's not a very pleasant way to go, I'd imagine. These are pretty big fish. That mouth isn't big enough to swallow a person, so any stories like that you've really got to discount. But it could still actually kill you. That is a very solid lump of bone with an enormous mass of muscle behind it. I've actually been on the receiving end of one of these things. It hit me in the chest, and no exaggeration, I could still feel that a month and a half later. It just bruised me so deeply.
It was 7 years ago, and I was helping a friend of mine, a research scientist, with his captive breeding program for Arapaima. His long-term goal is to take the pressure off the wild population, and he needed to capture his fish to pair them up with likely mates. We caught several fish already and weighed and measured them without problem, when I let my guard down. While drawing in a net with an Arapaima trapped inside, this hard-nosed giant turned from fish into missile. From nowhere, I had 100 pounds of solid bone smash into me. Weeks later, a doctor described my injury as similar to the impact of striking the steering column during a car crash. I'm not saying this is some malignant creature that will deliberately hunt and eat you. It doesn't have the mouth for it. But corner one of these beasts and it will launch a preemptive strike.
It is this event that makes me believe the Arapaima may be the killer in question. If these fishermen were hunting Arapaima or accidentally caught one in a net, this animal will violently defend itself. Just one thrash connecting with the head is all it would take to knock you unconscious, leaving you at the mercy of the Amazon's scavenging river monsters.
But as I set off on my mission, leaving the port of Manaus, my boat captain tells me that if I'm interested in Arapaima, then I should definitely visit one of these floating houses. Salted Arapaima used to be a meal enjoyed across the Amazon. But since a ban on commercial fishing, a few enterprising ribeirinhos, or river people, have started to farm them in pens like this to satisfy the demand for Arapaima meat.
I've heard these Arapaima in this enclosure here do something quite spectacular.
I've arrived just as they're preparing to fish one out for their own cooking pot.
Bom dia! Eu vou aí. Não. Tudo.
Aqui vamos tirar pedaço.
Eu sou Jeremy.
Seu nome é meu Alegria.
Alegria, eh?
Alegria.
Sr. Alegria, which means happiness, is he's about to try and get an Arapaima out of here. There's a few in here, and he says it's not an easy job. It can be a wee bit interesting. I'm going to ask him if maybe I can help. Tem que ficar de olho assim. There are 30 fish in here, and he says they're just jumping everywhere, and they are just, you're just having to duck. You risk getting hit by the head, and this is about the size of a boxing ring. It's about having, it's like having 30 people coming at you and just having to avoid them. Right, I'm going to have to just prepare myself a little bit.
Pula. É limpo embaixo. Ok.
Oh, I just trod on a fish.
Pisou em cima de
Right, esse fundo todo canto, né? Eu vou para lá.
Vai levanta
De
lá.
costa. This is this is a bit like a boxing ring. It's about the same size. There's 35 fish in here, nearly as big as I am.
Lá vai o arrastão, mete nessa posição.
Bom, melhor assim.
Vai levando para lá.
Okay.
Vai levando
Taking the
pra lá.
net up.
It's a simple matter of netting one. But this is exactly what I was doing when I took the full force of an Arapaima headbutt to the chest. And I have been warned that these fish are particularly violent when cornered.
Frente, eh?
De frente é melhor.
é?
Bota o pé direito no churro.
I'm walking forward, which means all the vulnerable bits of my body, a boxer would be covering them up.
Tá beleza.
Okay, that's going well.
Vai começar a pular.
Right, they're going to start jumping any minute, he's saying. Any minute they're going to start jumping.
Opa, furou. Afrouxa.
Okay, we didn't get one. We're going to have to go through the whole thing again.
Knowing what's coming makes the second attempt even more daunting.
I'm afraid. Jeremy is afraid, he's saying. I think that is fairly clear to see. Right, he's saying they might be a bit tired this time, so they might...
There's no doubt that when cornered or trapped by nets, the Arapaima becomes a formidable force of nature. With the help of these Arapaima farmers, I'm finally holding one of these incredible fish in my arms.
Look at that.
My fear has been replaced with a new respect.
Vamos levantar, we're going to lift it up.
Maybe I'm now ready to face an Arapaima on my own.
Oh, now we're going to let the head go. Let the head go. This is the... They wanted one to eat, that one was too big. They want to get a smaller one. I think I'm just going to leave them to it.
Ok.
Bon. Never ever seen anything like that before. All those fish absolutely clean out of the water. I think that just has to be, the evidence that I was looking for.
Just imagine the damage a fish could do that had the same solid bone head but was more than twice the weight. But Sr. Alegria also insists that they sneak through holes in the nets, displaying a curiously unfish-like cunning. Combine that with their sheer muscular power, and you can easily see how dangerous the Arapaima becomes when cornered. But the only way I know how to prove these monsters are still out there is to catch one. And I've heard of a lake that might be just the place to do that.
This lake looks really nice, actually. It's very quiet. Lots of snags, which could be interesting. I'm actually using a thing called a circle hook. Now that looks like it's just not going to hook anything at all. The point just coming in here, that's just not going to hook on anything. But in fact, if that's the fish's mouth, what happens is it just comes and turns, and there it is, right in the corner of the mouth. Oh, there we go, that was one. I just saw this red tail come up, fraction of a second, but I recognise it now. That was an Arapaima. And what I've got to do is try and quietly get into position so I can actually put a bait near that fish. One thing that I learned from the tribes people, which is actually quite hard to do, but I've just got to be patient.
Yes, 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 yes. Yeah. That's a fish, that's a good fish. Close up.
Can see the fish.
As the battle with this Arapaima approaches the half-hour mark, I'm reminded that the rebellious, proud spirit that inhabits this fish even refused to surrender to the gods.
Precis, alguém para pegar. Right, it's going to be out.
Take it.
There we go.
Ali, catch my boss aqui. Oh, look at that, it came out so easily.
Pegando.
Yes.
Okay, we're ready.
There it is. Look at that for a fish. Look at that. Massive female Arapaima, about 150 pounds.
I finally have the proof in my arms that huge Arapaima are still out here.
This is a true dinosaur of the deep.
I need this fish to regain its strength after our battle before I release it. If I put it straight back, it might not have the energy to swim to the surface to take a breath. And being an air breather, it would drown.
Just the head a little bit under the water. And pointing up towards the bank so that if it does thrash, there's only one way it can go. In theory, which is not back into the water, although they can just double around 180 degrees. Even at the end of a long fight, I can still feel the strength of this fish. So I can absolutely imagine this thing being able to knock over. Oh, there we go, that's good, that's good, that's good. Look at that. Boom. That was good. That was the fish just having a breath, which is excellent. It means the fish is not too tired out. But I mean, mainly this fish is just a bony head with a big cylinder of muscle behind it. And if this fish wasn't tired out, I don't think I'd be able to hold it. That's good. No, it's gone. We were just wondering if it had enough strength to go, and no doubt about it, I just couldn't hold it. And in fact, at the end of an epic battle on the line, but also an epic quest trying to find one of these things, but finally feeling the strength of it, absolutely, I'm in no doubt now that if you were in a small fishing canoe and that thing hit you underneath, I mean, it would easily upend the canoe. And then if you're in the water afterwards and you got on the wrong side of that head, my goodness, that would absolutely take you out.
those Indian warnings are still playing on my mind. Could sareng bring bad luck even here, thousands of miles from the haunted Himalayas? This is even starting to feel like India. But as the rain clears, I'm into a fish.
Good size fish.
And this one feels different.
It's just going, going, going. I've just gained a bit of line. The first bit of line I've gained. Oh, gently, gently, gently. Oh. Oh, oh! Silvery fish jumping out of the water.
For a second that looked like a sareng, but it sliced straight through my super tough leader. So I was hoping that here I wouldn't get these sort of random things happening, but something's bitten that through. After 10 solid days fishing, something has to give. The big cloud of bubbles down there. Big cloud of bubbles. I've hooked into my biggest fish yet. Yes, it's the fish. Could this be the one I'm waiting for? Fish is going to show, it's going to show. But a telltale flash of red and gold shows this isn't a sareng. That's Arapaima. Saw the whole thing come out of the water. It's an old adversary, a magnificent fish. But because of my fixation with the sareng, I feel a tinge of disappointment. I know that fish are weightless in water, but even a fish like this, not even beating its tail, just the momentum of it, just the mass of it coming through the water, displacing water. Line coming up through the water. But as this Amazonian giant is finally tamed here in Thailand, gosh, I'm again wondering if I'm looking for the wrong answers in the wrong places. 180 odd pound Arapaima. Whew. Big smile on my face, but still no sareng. But catching any fish that it takes 3 grown men to lift is surely cause for celebration. That's always really nice to see. The fish going off with plenty of energy, and just nice to see a fish in such good condition. We decide to fish into the night. One of my guides, Gary, is concerned that the weather is only going to get worse. So we bring his fishing method into play too, to increase our chances of catching this mysterious fish. Basically, there's one main line. Every 10 yards or so, the baits are going to be suspended. They won't be on the bottom, they'll be somewhere in mid-water. So it's a fairly intensive deployment of hooks and baits. Fishing at night means I'm working virtually blind. But if the creature I'm here to find has truly invaded these waters, then hopefully I'll be able to get a bait in front of one. Yeah, that's a fish, that's a fish. That's good size as well. Gary tells me this is the mystery fish he brought me here to find. I might just glove this. And it's one I've met before. Aye. So there we go. This is an Arapaima. This is a fish I was never expecting to catch here. Arapaima shouldn't be in Bolivia. They're not native to these waters. But their presence here could explain the gory attacks that happened on the Rio Yata. Arapaima are formidable predators, and one fish is a favourite meal: piranhas. If these waters are riddled with Arapaima, they could be nailing the piranhas, picking off the slower, weaker ones and leaving the stronger and more aggressive fish. And if they're competing for the same food as well, perhaps this has forced the piranhas to become much more aggressive. This is a young Arapaima, and to me, that makes it even more significant. It means that Arapaima haven't just invaded, but they're breeding here. How many more are out there? How bad has this invasion become? We need to check the lines. As we pull them in, it becomes clear.
Ah, yeah. Here we go. There's a fish.
They're here in force.
These fish, given the right conditions, warm water, they don't need a lot of oxygen, they can absolutely take over. So once the genie's out of the bottle, you know, there's no putting it back. These things, they're here to stay.
And I know only too well how big they can grow,
Can see the fish.
dominating the waters they live in.
Massive female Arapaima. In the case of what happened on the Rio Yata that day, I see now all the possible pieces of the jigsaw. Maybe this is what caused Oscar's death, not the direct cause, but one of the factors that upset the balance.
And push the piranhas into becoming more aggressive, attacking anything and anyone. The only person who might be able to help me is the chief. I'm told that in exceptional circumstances, he can grant permission to fish for Arapaima.
You must remember what I am telling you now, right?
He's willing to allow me to fish under a very strict condition.
Before you go wrong, before you misunderstand what I'm telling you, I repeat again to you that no net and no bait hooks, no arrow, but this type of hook you will use.
Fly.
Yeah, fly, to fly fish. That doesn't destroy the fish. And it's easy to take out from the lip. So that's the only way.
This is something I've never attempted before. I happen to have some fly fishing gear with me, but I didn't think I'd be trying to catch anything as big as an Arapaima with it.
Right, what kind of fly is going to tempt an Arapaima? Well, what most people understand by fly fishing is using something that actually looks like a fly. But some flies, so-called, actually, it's not an insect they're mimicking, it is a small fish. So something like that, pulled through the water, does actually look like a very lifelike little fish.
But I need to make something even bigger that an Arapaima might mistake for food.
What I've got in mind is turning this fly into a small peacock bass. They're very tasty fish, and one about sort of that size would be a very nice meal for an Arapaima.
To cast this fly, I have to use a fly rod, but the necessary flexibility comes at the price of power.
Fly fishing is normally a method for small fish. Now you can land very big fish on light gear, but in order to do that you need generally nice open water, so you can just let the fish swim backwards and forwards, tire itself out, there you go. But these lakes here, they are just full of fallen trees and all manner of snags.
letting a fish swim around is just going to go through all that kind of stuff. The line's going to break. I just don't see how it's going to work.
Yeah. It's a fish. It's a large fish.
I'm feeling massively undergunned. All I have to pull in this giant is a thin rod and a wobbly canoe.
That's the fish there.
I'm trying to stop the fish coming to the surface. If it jumps, it could spit out the hook. But it seems the fish is calling the shots.
Heavy fish. Rod in a painful curve.
As the fish comes closer, the danger becomes very real. If it jumps in our direction, the results could be deadly.
It's coming up. It's gonna jump.
This is a lot bigger than any Arapaima I've caught before. I need to get it into the shallows.
In a bit more, please.
This fish weighs at least 250 pounds.
Keep holding, because I'm... Look at this! Arapaima on a fly. This thing... It's actually, I was going to say, it's built like a missile. This is a tired fish, believe it or not. Two of us can hardly restrain it. It is just, doesn't it look like a missile? Long, streamlined body. I'm thinking about 3 times the size of the one that hit me. Sent me flying, left me in pain for over a month. This thing came flying at you. Hit you in the right place, shall we say the wrong place. You wouldn't know about it. Just a final flashing, fleeting moment and then lights out for good. I think that's a strong fish.
This is the biggest fish of my South American fishing career. A river monster as deadly as any beast of folklore. And if you caught a glimpse of something this size, colour and shape appearing on the edge of your vision, your mind could fill in the gaps. Here in Guyana, where legends of mermaids pervade local beliefs, you might think that you've seen the water mama. But one thing's for sure, there are Arapaima here so massive they could easily deliver a fatal blow. And if that happened, the river's scavengers would quickly clear away every last shred of evidence. Except perhaps a tidy pile of clothes.
Lift! Now!